Welcome to our channel. Today, we will talk about one of the boldest and most innovative figures in journalism, Nellie Bly, the woman who challenged the world. Prepare your mind and heart as we share the story of a woman who changed the game in her time. Born on May 5, 1864, in Pennsylvania, Elizabeth Cochran, known as Nellie Bly, grew up in an era when women had few opportunities in the workforce. Initially, her dream was to become a writer. But at 18, after reading a misogynistic article that criticized women, she decided to respond and pursue a career in journalism. After some initial experiences, Bly landed a job at the Pittsburgh Dispatch. Here, she showcased her talent by writing articles addressing social issues and adventurous topics, often filtered through a lively and engaging narrative. Her boldest investigation began in 1887 when Nellie decided to expose the inhumane conditions within psychiatric hospitals. To do this, she devised a daring plan to get herself committed to the Women's Lunatic Asylum on Blackwell's Island. Skillfully, she posed as a patient, claiming to have been afflicted by a form of nervous mania. Once inside, Bly documented the brutal treatment and terrible living conditions of the women housed there. She testified that patients were often subjected to physical and psychological abuse, with a complete lack of medical care and humanity. Her observations were shocking. When she was released after 10 days, she returned to the newspaper with a series of articles that revealed the brutality of the system. Her pieces sparked public outrage and led to official investigations, contributing to significant reforms in the treatment of psychiatric patients. Not content with her successes, in 1889, Bly decided to challenge the world in her own way, inspired by Jules Verne's novel Around the World in 80 Days. She wanted to prove that it was possible to complete a journey around the globe in a shorter time. She prepared for her trip and set off from New York on November 14, 1889. Initially, her journey took her through Europe, where she visited the United Kingdom and France. But the trip was not without obstacles. She encountered delays, travel issues, and cultural challenges. Despite this, her determination and the support of her audience pushed her forward. She was welcomed by an enthusiastic crowd upon her return to New York on January 25, 1890, after completing the journey in just 72 days, 6 hours, and 11 minutes. Her triumph not only brought her fame and recognition, but also inspired countless women and men to pursue their dreams, regardless of societal expectations. Nellie Bly did not stop there. She continued to work as a journalist for various newspapers, tackling diverse issues from women's rights to corruption, becoming a symbol of the fight for social justice. Her legacy is evident in today's journalism landscape, where women continue to push boundaries and give voice to the voiceless. Today, journalists and activists around the world draw from the courage and inspiration left by Bly. Her ability to confront the truth, challenge injustices, and pave the way for social advancement remains a beacon for all who fight for a fairer society. The impact of Nellie Bly's story. Bly's work not only changed the treatment of psychiatric patients but also opened up public debate on the importance of investigative journalism. Her investigation forced the government and society to reflect on their responsibilities towards vulnerable people. Numerous historians and contemporary journalists recognize the significance of her investigations as a turning point in journalism. Bly's innovative approach has inspired a new generation of reporters to actively engage in exposing social injustices. In an era when women were often excluded from newsrooms, Bly faced many challenges. Her bold ideas and demands for rights and opportunities were not always well received by her male colleagues, but she persevered. Despite adversity, Bly continued to speak for those without a voice. She was a passionate advocate for women's rights, fighting for access to education and equal pay in her field. Her mission went beyond journalism. She wanted to rewrite the rules of society. After her return from her journey around the world, Bly continued to work in various areas of journalism. In 1895, she married millionaire Robert Seaman and took a brief hiatus to focus on married life. However, she never abandoned her passion for journalism and civil rights. In 1904, she returned to writing as a correspondent for the New York Evening Journal, continuing to address social and political issues like the women's suffrage movement. Even in her later years, her voice remained strong and relevant. Nellie Bly received significant posthumous honors and accolades. In 1998, she was inducted into the National Women's Hall of Fame and is celebrated as a pioneer of investigative journalism. Today, schools, scholarships, and journalism awards bear her name, representing the ongoing inspiration she has provided to generations of women and men in journalism and social activism. Nellie Bly's words continue to resonate today. Phrases like "the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step," and "no one can make me feel inferior without my consent" evoke her determination and indomitable spirit. These quotes inspire not only journalists but anyone fighting for their rights. Thank you for experiencing with us the extraordinary story of Nellie Bly, the woman who challenged the world. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. What historical story would you like us to tell next? Your voice matters.